Welcome to Talk Together. Thank you for joining us for an evening of talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I said an evening. We're only here for an hour. At least that's what I told everyone. No, we will be here for the next hour or so talking about Dungeons and Dragons and specifically about Roll Together last year and campaigns and stuff that happened last year because it's a new year. By the time this goes out, we're recording a bit early, but Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, 2023.
Let's go 2023. Liz, how was your New Year?
My New Year was fabulous. We counted down.
Yeah.
There was celebration. There were drinks. I had a great time. How was yours?
Great. Love it. Yeah, it was delightful. We played a poker tournament. I don't know how it went because that's in the future, but I can only assume I won.
I thought you were going to say Pokemon, and I got really excited for you.
I'm really sorry. No, poker.
I was also excited for the Pokemon tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Change those plans now.
I've got a couple of weeks before this actually happens, so maybe I can subvert this evening my husband has planned and make it about Pokemon instead.
His choice is not applicable. Pokemon it is.
Yeah, I think there's enough people going that would back me on this. Anyway, Ali, how are you doing? How was your New Year?
Fine. The part that I remember was great, and the part that I don't remember probably was even better.
Even better.
No alcohol this year, so probably just a very early New Year this year. Yes.
Tucked
I'm
up.
excited about going to bed early.
Under a self-knitted blanket.
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty.
Amazing stuff. So we will actually talk about some Dungeons and Dragons and things. But before we do that, I should say thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, Phoenix Dice, and Alchemy RPG, and our supporters, Idle Champions, Neverwinter, Elderwood Academy, and D&D Beyond. And hello to our D20 Club on Patreon. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you all had a smashing holiday period and New Year's. And if you would like to find us, you can find us here at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG, or you can find us on podcasts under Roll Together RPG, or the socials, Roll Together RPG. If you know our name, you could probably find us in the online place. We are everywhere.
Always watching.
I have a few different questions that we'll be looking back at 2022, the games that we played and DM'd. Although I wanted to ask, given that it is a New Year's, does anyone have any TTRPG-based New Year's resolutions?
Oh.
As a player or DM?
Both. Why not?
Oh.
Chris would be very happy if I planned more, but let's be realistic, it's not going to happen.
But then you wouldn't have the classic M style of allowing so much time for chaos and roleplay. And yeah, sure, let's spend an hour just bumbling through space.
It's an hour that I don't have to fill.
They're the best ones. When you, as a DM, when you can just sit and everyone else does the talking for you. Oh my God, that's a gift. It's a gift. Honestly, strive for that as a DM.
And everyone really enjoys it. So it works both ways. You get to be you go ahead. I'm feeling a bit headachy. You carry on with your lives, and we'll be back in about an hour when you've rambled at each other about all of your tragic backstories.
One of my favourite things, we're going straight into past campaigns, I'm sorry, that Em's Flustered in the Feywild had, Sharmony was there, and she said, sorry Em, did you want us to do some plot today? But we had the best time. We had 3 hours of doing nothing, but the players, we all had so much fun.
And it was great to watch as well. Just there's a lot to be said for campaigns where you do lots of cool stuff and big battles and stuff. There's also a lot to be said for bumbling and enjoying those character moments. And it makes it's very watchable. It's very listenable if you're a podcast listener as well.
And it's nice to see and hear players having fun. And when players are having fun doing nothing, that's even better. It's great.
I think when the DM can just sit down and watch, I think it's the best time for a DM. It's I said everything, you go and explore and enjoy and create the world with me.
So that's something that I'm looking at now, which again is in the past when this goes out, because it won't be spoilers by this point, that I'm DMing the first 4-parter of the year.
Oh, I think it was
which is
announced.
exciting.
It's been announced to Patreon, definitely.
Yeah.
At this point.
It's first time I've heard it, so yay!
Thanks, Liz.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm trying to get the planning balance right of, I know there's a bunch of plot points that I want to hit, but I want to make sure that I've left enough space for the players to bumble, but also because it's based off like Half-Life and first-person shooters, which have a very like pacey energy. I'm interested to see how it goes.
I think 4, 6.
It's a 4-parter.
Yeah, you don't have time in a 4-parter.
No.
Like, you can have one episode where they do very little, but actually, like, if you want to get through stuff, you've just got to, like, get those plot points out there.
Are you going through the door?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do, if the players are having a great chat, and I'm happy the players are having a great chat, but one of my favorite things to say is, as you're talking, big thing happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Well,
if you need to move
Tom
ahead.
If Tom did, where the plot happened in the forest in the background while the players were faffing.
No, that was terrible. That was really bad. I was like, there's no point you being here. The game is over there where you're not. Like, no.
I think that's actually happened to me in a computer game once, where I've accidentally walked through a wall and the rest of the game is kind of there and I'm in nothing world.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skyrim
Yeah.
happens a lot. Oh, I've walked through a wall. The game's over there. I can't get back anymore.
No, I'm stuck forever.
Yes, falling constantly. Oh, I've been yeeted into the sky.
Endlessly.
The trick is to find out how that enables you to randomly somehow finish the game and then repeat that glitch for speedrunning purposes.
Oh, yes.
Then also find a way to monetize that.
The speedrunning.
Yeah. Anyway,
And one monetized. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
any other thoughts? New Year's resolutions, TTRPG New Year's resolutions?
I am starting my first long game campaign, like home game.
Yay.
And hopefully it's gonna start really well. And as a player, I like multi-classing, so as long as I can create those multi-class that people was like, Ali, what the hell are you thinking about? But find a way to make them work. That's my resolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as a player, one of my resolutions this year is to, well, if the opportunity comes up, it's got to feel right for the campaign, but to get over my fear of wizards and play a wizard properly. I mean, I've played one in Chris's Christmas one-shot, which it was barely a wizard because we were level 1 and I think I cast one spell.
Yeah.
I don't think that counts.
Classic wizard.
You need like level 5, because level 5 you've got 3rd level spells. There's stuff to choose from, like you can do stuff, but it's not like, oh goodness, I've got 400 things to choose from and only one of them is going to be relevant in this particular situation.
Yeah.
I thought when you said your fear of wizards, I thought you meant like your character is afraid of wizards.
Yeah, every character I've made.
They are the devil. Yes.
Yeah, especially Thomas, terrified of wizards.
Totes.
Gotta hate those evokers. I've got a new evoker coming up. I'm very excited about it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Love an evoker. You just gotta blast some things sometimes.
Is that one coming up later in the quarter, or is that one that's in...
You will be seeing them in January.
That we will have, because this will go out after the first week in January.
You may have seen them already. I don't know what the programming is.
You will see them.
They will be seen. They will be witnessed.
Present in January.
You heard it here first, maybe.
All right, I am going to roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
Okay. Ooh, a 1. I mean, I'm only rolling a D8 for this because
favorite
we
number.
didn't have that many questions. Okay. Were there any moments in a campaign that you ran that you were particularly proud of or enjoyed the players discovering?
Ali, that sounded like a promising giggle.
Yeah, tell us.
Such enthusiasm from the start. Go on, Ali.
Well, I have only one campaign, the Divergent Dream, and Nat was there, right? And when Nat decided to put on the mask that these creatures were wearing, I was like, that was not in the plan, but I can improv this. And I was like, in my notes, it was like 5 pages ahead of like, okay, now how do I make this work? But I didn't expect that to happen right there. But it's like, of course, Sally, of course they were about to do it. So it was a little bit of silly me moment. But then I was like, yeah, that was.
I mean, we talked about it in the Divergent Dream post-show talk together as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed that moment from her. Because, well, I mean, credit to V for suggesting I put the mask on in the first place. But I think neither of us knew what was going to happen. And we were both excited to. It felt like a world-building moment together, which is always nice compared to the DM has a secret plan and it's down to the players to uncover exactly what that was. It was is this happening? How do we do this? I don't know either. Let's find out.
Let's roll with the punches. Yes.
That's some of the best bits, though. Like, one of my favorite things is when the DM asks, tell me what would happen, or tell me what that looks like. Like, that's so much fun because that's a collaborative storytelling, and that's what D&D is all about. So, yeah, that's fun. I'm so excited that someone did to Ali what Ali does to DMs as well. Because normally it's Ali doing the weird stuff that you're like, huh? Thank you, Nat. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That makes me smile.
That's one of the things I'm excited about because, again, it won't be spoilers by now, but Ali is in my my campaign that I'm running, Nexus, and I'm scared.
Watch out for that one.
I'm excited and scared because I've seen his brain working, and it's a thing.
Who have you got? Who's your other players?
I've got Chris, Ali, Nick, Evie.
Johnny?
And Johnny.
Chaos. Just pure chaos.
So good.
Evie,
no, it's Josh, not Johnny. Josh.
Will be chaotic.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate chaos when I first started DMing, and now I crave it. Like, it's all I want. I want chaos because you could just sit back and watch it, and you're like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. Okay, cool. Let's go with it. So, yeah.
I like when players give you so many elements that it's like, yeah, sure, tell me more, and then you start like taking those elements to move on. It's like, I have this story, but the story that you are telling me, which might be just that, like they're rumbling with ideas, is much better than the idea that I had originally. So it's like, I'm gonna, find a middle place or, compromise with my story.
Absolutely. Any other pleasing moments of the players discovering stuff or things you were particularly proud of?
So I'm going to talk about Merkendra Bog that you were all in, which is quite handy. That's good. Yeah. There was a moment where you had gone behind the walls.
Yeah.
So you discovered that there were like tunnels behind all the walls in the resort. And I love atmosphere. It's one of my favorite things to do. And it can impact players and like how decisions are made. And I could do the ultimate horror thing of like the lights coming on one by one, and then you continue going and you saw there were lots of the robots all kind of having little spark moments themselves, and being able to build on that tension and watching all of your faces as it was happening was so much fun. I didn't know what you were going to do during it, but being able to do that was so much fun. So thank you for your faces. It was great.
You're welcome. That whole like underground with the animatronics was just a big no. It was great.
Yes.
Yes.
I think when players don't know if we are about to roll initiative, keeps you like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Like, should I cast this now? Because I don't know if this is a really good spell, but it's not into combat. You might be wasting that spell slot. So it's like, what should I do? So it's really good element from a DM, keeping you on your toes. Like, I'm pretty sure that like, what is going to happen now? So yes, like kudos to that, Liz.
Because you're all quite high level as well, like you could throw encounters at people and you can throw traps at people, but you're very likely to overcome it very quickly because you were so high level. But when it's just atmosphere and it's your mind you're having to work against, that's great. I don't have to do any work there. That's brilliant. So yeah, that was a lot of fun for me.
That was one of the things. I mean, again, I didn't have a campaign, but I had the 2 one-shots that I ran. Was specifically in the sequel to Sleepers of Silverage, was when they were approaching the dragon's lair, trying to build up a sense of dread and atmosphere and psych them out a little bit by making them roll perception for stuff that wasn't there. I don't know if I was like 100% successful with it, but there was definitely elements. I mean, kudos to Tom, really, for knowing that the place was going to be an abandoned silver mine and picking a werewolf to play, because that immediately added a sense of dread and threat.
So incredibly Tom.
Amazing.
I've had 4 this year, so Ancient Antics, Chaos in the Collection, Anarchy in the Astral Sea, and then finally Call of the Void, which I keep calling Chaos, which is not right.
Just Chaos.
I really enjoyed putting career into Chaos, which then like tied into future stories, because obviously it came back with Demi in Liz's campaign. Anarchy the ship, I think, is the thing I'm most proud of. It wasn't intending it to be so incredibly creepy, and then yet, as we played, it came. Antics was just it's a fun. It's that like echoing King Arthur, like what happens if the people who he was supposed to protect do actually come back, and I think that was really good fun. And Call of the Void. The most surprising thing for me in Call of the Void was when Sam, after creating this like character with a horrible backstory and being like, they're going to be so sad. In the first episode, it was like, yeah, I'm here, I'm Australian, and also really cheerful. I was like, what happened between the backstory and now? What have you done? And then the whole way through, I mean, it was my own fault because I cast a bunch of chuckle fucks. They will not be offended by me saying that. There was no like, this is very creepy. It was all like, this is just fun and wacky.
Is that the one where there was someone like naked outside the ship that got onto the window and kind of scrooged past? Or did I make that up?
Oh, that might have been, someone definitely did that in Anarchy, but I don't think they were naked.
Oh, maybe I just filled that one in with my brain. I would not put that past me.
Just decided they're naked.
Listen, comedy, that's where we're at.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really enjoyed all this. I'm looking forward to, I know you said before, that you'd like Career to appear again, and I am looking forward to that being a possibility. Career was a great character.
The potential of like Career and Demi, which is very difficult because obviously both characters so far are only played by me.
We'll see what campaigns come up, I guess. 2023 has many weeks to fill with D&D, which is exciting. So we'll see. I'm going to roll a dice again.
Ooh.
Roll that dice.
Roll that dice.
Oh, we've gone from 1 to 8. Okay. Apart from Sean's campaigns, which so far have all been part of the same story and naturally have links, are there any common themes or motifs you find you keep bringing into your games, intentional or not? And I guess this can also apply to home games.
I love that the way that was phrased. It's obviously for the one that Sean was in, but also it's like as if Sean's just going to suddenly appear and be like, yes, mine are all.
Well.
Chaotic players. Just like utter bizarre happenings. Also, for some reason, sexual innuendos. I don't think it's me, but at this point it might be.
I mean, it seems to the Bake Off, like that episode was particularly bad.
That one, yeah. We tried to pretend that one didn't happen.
Tell that to Mary Berry, because she is scarred for life.
I mean, it's on the internet forever. Like,
she's a national treasure.
Down. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, so Halls of the Undermountain King, followed by Shadowfell Symphony, followed by Mercandraw, they are all linked. They're all following one character. So the story isn't precisely linked. It is slightly in the first 2, but I tried to take one character from one game to another, and then I think it was Ali's character to Sally in the last one. But I guess I don't think anything specifically links them as far as theme is concerned, other than maybe end of the world. That tends to occur quite a lot. I think in most games that tends to happen. Like, oh, you gotta go fix this, otherwise everyone's gonna die.
Googly eyes?
Googly Eyes, yes. They made a comeback in Emma's campaign in the... You'll have to remind me of the title.
Anarchy?
Is that Anarchy?
They-
It was,
Anarchy?
Chris was running Thingy McThingy, Drowning in Blackwater, and Stampy had googly eyes.
Yes.
That's not what you were thinking of.
There were
No.
definitely, I'm sure there were googly eyes in the Anarchy ship because there was all sorts of shit in the hold of the Anarchy ship. But yeah, maybe that was it. I don't quite remember. It's been quite a while.
How do we feel about the fact that, sorry to just divert for a minute, how do we feel about the fact that if there were to ever be a roll together mascot that is not the dice head, it would probably be a pickle with googly eyes?
Mhm.
I'm pro.
Ali, your face is telling a different story.
Too late, Ali. It's all in
It's-
manufacturing right now as we speak. There are t-shirts, there are caps, there are mugs, there are pens. Yes, pens shaped like pickles. That was a lie. That is not happening.
Or
I guess someone needs
to
to-
buy it.
Someone needs to say, please don't go looking for that merchandise. Yeah,
Do not Google that.
don't know.
Pickle pens.
Yes. Or make a Kickstarter and we will support.
Yeah. Not like us starting a Kickstarter.
No,
Our own
Have we
merch.
done?
Fans go and do it.
Fans starting a Kickstarter petition.
Change.org, yes. If we get to 1,000, yes.
That's a good point, Em. Have you put your Christmas tree up yet?
Ooh. If it were, it would be here. And you can see that it is not.
That's fair enough.
Embarrassingly, it's the 16th of December, so we're quite behind.
Okay. That's
But
okay, that's
Pixie
allowed.
did send us like 5 pickle decorations, which will be going on the tree again this year.
I think you mean they have been on the tree again this
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
here. Can't you see it? Beautiful.
year. Any other, Ali? Any other?
So we started with the Divergent Dream, and it's sort of horror and or cosmic horror kind of thing, and of course a lot of aberrations. And the second campaign that I'm gonna have probably after years,
Think
Natalie, I think, it's also like sort of continuation of that, and it's on the same sort of theme, which is elder evils and
I mean, we're
cosmic horror.
getting into heavy spoiler territory here, but
Yeah.
there's definitely an aberrant theme around Ali in general, I think.
It's the tentacles. That's
There's the
totally what it
tentacles.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So in terms of the stuff I've done for Roll Together, including the campaign that I'm doing now, timey-wimey, I guess it is horror, but that's not necessarily something that is a theme with everything I've run, because actually a lot of the home games I've done have been like stupid and whimsical. So it just happens to be that I've done horror stuff with Roll Together. So I'll have to change that. I will have to do some goofy stuff next time, clearly.
I like going from like super goofy to absolute horror in the same thing. Because then
Yes,
horror
that's
feels
ideal.
like it has more impact because everyone's lulled into a false sense of security by everything is fine, you're all dying. Like it that's always very fun too.
I had that at the end of Call of the Void. So there's by the end of the 4th episode, there were 3 of them on death saves, and like they've bumbled their way through this entire thing, been like nothing's going to happen. Then you're like, yeah, you're all dying.
Do love an emotional what's it called, like a coin flip? No, turn on a dime, that's the one. Words.
Kind of the same thing.
All right, I'm gonna roll.
Another
you can
element
go.
is the Oryx clan. I think there is many elements of the Oryx clan in many campaigns and games. But probably at some point it will be ridiculous to say like, even to have like a maybe share one of those characters with other players, so they play one Oryx each. And I DM in that would be a good pitch.
I want to know what the end game is, Ali. What's the end game? No, don't tell us, but like I want to know.
Fill the world with Leonin from the same clan. So we're getting into tricky territory there, though, because if the only Leonin that ever appeared in the Roll Together universe are related, then that's a bit odd. We clearly need to have. Oh, no, Vega.
Vega's
Unless
also.
Vega's a secret Oryx.
As far as we know, not. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a rival Oryx. Like maybe there's some major rivalry going on between these two laymen.
Yes. Maybe they will.
Vega already has like a deathly rival though. So like, I don't know. A 2 is a lot to handle at the same time. Like you've got to devote a lot of your attention to them. It's like having a partner, but they're not nice to you.
Yeah.
Poly rivalry, is that what we were coining this? Poly rivalry. Yes.
Now I'm just imagining a campaign where the enemies are like, no, I'm your mortal rival. No, I'm your.
Yeah. I feel like that's a thing in an anime. I'm sure it is. Or there's someone going around and they're following basically stalking a person, being like, "Oi, I'm your mortal enemy." The other person is just really nonplussed.
I need to watch this.
I know.
I think there was something
you know what
similar.
it is.
Yes, let know.
Have you watched Ranma and a Half? Something like that. Like it's just very old, like Sailor Moon times. And this guy, when they throw cold water to him, turn into a lady. Just no.
Helpful.
Then never mind.
No.
Oh.
Well, but there is like this other character that is always like, "Oh, you're my rival," and the other one like, "Yeah, sure, yeah." I mean, they never actually fight or something like that, but the other one is just obsessed with Ranma.
Obsessed with drama. Like someone else I know, Ali.
Shade.
Sorry, that was very direct shade.
To the face.
Yes, with a name, like just to confirm, Ali, it's you.
I'm gonna take.
that.
Can you roll the D8 to know how much psychic damage do I take?
Now you have a D8 in your hand.
I do
You'll have to roll
it's
it.
literally in my hand. 7, I'm afraid.
Oh, it's almost max. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ali.
Outrageous.
If I were level 1, I'm down.
Go wins.
Only if you're a really squishy wizard. Like a really
That is
squishy
Ali's
wizard.
Yeah.
Or you made the foolish choice to roll for hit points.
Oh, I have 1 HP. Yes.
What is the minimum if you were to roll? Because it's
It would be wizard, so it'd be a d6 plus your con. And if you had negative con, you could potentially start the game with minus hit points. You just die before you were born.
this person should not be an adventurer.
You opened your spell tome, and the first word you read as a wizard killed you. That's what happened. Like you were born as a standard average human, and then you opened that spell book, and that was it.
Too much.
KO'd.
The word was the.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll a d6 again. No, not a d6, a d8. No, maybe I should roll a d6 because that was a 1. And again, I just rolled 3 1s in a row.
Get rid of that dice immediately. It's cursed.
No, get them out the way. Okay, 3. This is kind of similar to the first one. So Ali, your answer might be the same. So it's less about enjoying a player's discovery or a moment you're proud of. Oh no! Wait! I'd scrolled up.
Oh, we're going on a journey.
A different number. Yeah.
Where are we going to end up now?
Okay. Are there any moments from other people's games that you watched or listened to, or even played in, that you thought were really cool / have inspired your own games? Or made you go, I wish I did that. That's cool.
There are so many.
I'm going to say Merc and Drawbog, just the location, the concept, the delivery, the
it was really good
puns, the shots.
Shots were my favourite too.
I don't remember the name, but at the end, we have this bard and this sorcerer, not monk. I don't know even what I want to say, but they use a portable hole and a bag of holding to get rid of a black dragon. And I was like,
Vile Shadows and a Honeyed Smile.
Yes.
And I think it was Evie and Toby.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
My brain.
That's a major throwback. That's like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
But was it not this year?
No, that was like one of the second.
Wow.
Theros was the first one.
So let me think one of these year.
I struggle to think back more than a week. Ali, that's one heck of a memory you have.
Throwback. No, because the games I want to play in the most are my own, and obviously you can't play in your own games. But I really want DMs who are like, you just go ahead and have fun and have chaos, and like, no, it works on a knife edge of like, is it going to work or is it not going to work? But that feeling of like, you can do whatever you want, it's not going to mess with the world. I really enjoy that. It doesn't work with Chris because Chris has plans and you can fuck with Chris's plans. So it's not quite as like everything here is open, which is what I really enjoy. But I haven't played with a DM who quite runs like that yet because people like planning. Damn you all.
It's kind of different though when you're DMing for something that has to be in 6 parts because you know it has to end. Yeah. Whereas like if it's an open ongoing campaign, like my ongoing campaigns at my home games tend to be way more open. Like I don't really plan until the day before, and that's based on what the players have done last time. Ali's laughing, and but one of my favorite things that happened with Roll Together was, Emma, your campaign Ancient Antics, because you told us from the beginning the whole of Faerun is basically yours, go where you want to go and we'll roll with it. That was great. I love that. And I was like, yes, amazing, let's do this. I don't know how we're going to do this in 4 episodes, but let's do it.
Yeah, very impressive. So close to giving you a contra teleportation that just went anywhere, and Chris was like, do not give them a contra teleportation that goes anywhere.
In one home game, one of my characters has a helm of teletransportation.
Who's that, Ali?
And sorry? Nothing. And I think the DM is sometimes like where he's going, but I think it's more the other players like, what is gonna happen? What is Ali gonna do?
We've got a home game where the sorcerer learned teleportation circle, and then rather than going back to Waterdeep, which was our home base, we were like, no, we're being followed, we should go somewhere completely random. I just went to an entirely different city. This was like, you're gonna have to stop here and come back next time because you've gone somewhere random.
I have nothing planned for this city. I don't know where it is. What's there?
What is the city that you've told me about? Yeah. I quite like that though, but I wouldn't, for something that would be streamed, I'd have to put a bit more planning in place. But like for a home game, I'm like, yeah, sure, you're by a bush now. Now this bush is going to attack you. Never mind where you've gone. You're by this bush and it's attacking you.
Angry bush.
Yeah, I agree with that. I managed to make Lady Blackbird, which is supposed to be a one-shot, last 11 sessions.
Oh, wow.
Because my players were just getting into the world, and we're on a planet of smugglers and pirates. Let's go fuck shit up. Let's go to the party and steal stuff. And this is all, we're definitely going to get around to the plot where we need to deliver Lady Blackbird to her ex at some point. But
Is that the whole plot? You like take her back to her ex-partner?
Yeah, but it's sort of see what happens on the way. Like, she doesn't have to stay there. It could be one of those where, along the way she discovers the life of a pirate and wants to do that instead, or they give you the stat block for the ex as you might end up fighting him, who knows, kind of situation. But yeah, it was really good fun, and the system is good and relatively easy to get into. It's just you need a lot of D6s, which if you've got a board game collection, then that's relatively easy to source.
Or just a massive D&D dice collection, like many of us do.
Me and Ali played the Avatar RPG recently, and it was in its early phases, so it was like it was on Kickstarter, but not fully finished yet.
Avatar The Last Airbender or Avatar The Blue People?
Not the Blue People. And it was based around D6 rolls, and I can't remember the system that it was based on, but it didn't quite work at the time. I don't know if it's any different now. With you're a bender, you wanna fight stuff, you wanna do all the things, and it didn't quite work with that. But because we were quite good at role play, we had so much fun just not playing the game. Like, we did the most random stuff that we did not expect. And sometimes, like, you don't even have to know the rules of a game to have fun if you can just talk to each other and go with it and be in the world. And I think one of the players, they were a water vendor, and there was a puddle. So they maneuvered this water to their hair, and they used the water in their hair to whip someone across the face with it. And that wasn't a move. That's not something that you could do. They just did it. It was great. Sometimes restriction is the gateway to creativity. That's cool.
I had that issue with actually in Lady Blackbird with my husband, who was playing Snargle, who is the goblin pilot of your ship. And in the rules, it says that goblins can stretch and change their shape. There's no sort of limiting wording on that. So he decided that he was like Luffy in One Piece and could like Gomu Gomu hand like all the way down a corridor to slap a guard. And I thought that was so funny, so I allowed it, and that was a mistake because it set a precedent, a terrible precedent, but was also a brilliant precedent as well. Like there was just carnage from silly stretchiness.
Yes,
Mr. Tickle character.
Yeah, it's like, well, the rules don't say I can't do this, so I'm gonna have to try.
Yeah.
And we players are experts to find those loopholes. That is like, if I join this with this, then chaos comes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my first game I DM'd, and to be fair, my ongoing home game still has 3 other DMs in it, and like you get real good at rules and being like, I don't care if the rules say that, this is what's going to happen. Yeah. Sometimes.
As long as there's that mutual respect around the table of like, no, this is M's game that we're playing today, and M's rules are M's rules.
Yeah, they're generally very good.
Do we have any other? Sorry, no.
I was going to say just about rules. I like asking players what they think should happen as well.
Yeah,
because often you're playing with your friends. You know, you've got respect there anyway. So as long as everyone's happy with,
if you're playing with your enemies, you shouldn't ask them. You should be like, "No, you die. Sorry, you cast a spell and you explode."
Totally. Get out my house. Yeah.
Do you play with your enemies a lot, Em?
No.
No, they're all dead.
You said with regret. No.
I don't think I have that many enemies. I could think of one person who hates me, but I don't interact with them anymore, so it's fine.
And on that note,
let's move on.
I'm going to roll a dice.
Roll that dice.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice.
Roll your arse.
Roll. Any moments that were a great learning experience for you as a DM? Obviously, like you 3 are much more experienced DMs than I am. So you might be all done with your learning, but I don't believe that would be the case.
There's no such thing. Every single game I watch or play is always a learning experience, especially with Roll Together, because you have the opportunity to DM for so many different players, so you can get a gauge of who plays in what way, what styles people play in, how people might play a certain class in your game. You might go, oh, that's really cool. Like Demi, so Emma played Demi, who's a wizard cleric. And it was a really great combo, divination wizard mixed with grave domain.
Yeah, it's dirty.
And I was like, holy shit, I never thought about that. And that's something that I would like to take on as a player. Maybe it's a DM with an NPC. So every single game, no matter what it is, there's no specific thing, but every interaction other players have with each other, like that's a really cool way of starting a conversation. I might take that on too. Everything for me.
One really specific one for me. So in Ancient Antics, I killed Sir Torval, David's character, by disintegrating him, and David was quite upset about it. He won't be upset about me saying that. I think we're all quite aware that David was not pleased in the moment. And I think if we had just paused and said, like, there will be a way for your character to come back, like, are you all right with this? We can always rewind it. The end would have been a lot more satisfying. So when I killed Tom's character, Pip, in Call of the Void, and also throughout when Sean was like, oh my God, you're going to kill old Georgia, I was like, I have no intention of killing any of your characters. Like, there are ways out of this. And also, if you don't want to be dead, you don't have to be. So, like, that's one very specific one, but there's always things that you take away because you can't necessarily expect how people react to things that you do.
What about you, Ali?
So of course, this is the first time I collaborate with in a stream, and time management is a thing. So especially when we know that we use safety tools and etc., we have to pause the game and etc. That sort of taking into account how much do I have to rewind, where are we with the total sort of length of the video. And I think with the first one shot, I was lucky that it was mostly on time. But then I think there was 2 episodes on A Divergent Dream where it was like slightly long, and it was like, maybe I should have of course you don't want to interrupt the good moments, but at the same time it's like, maybe I should have skipped this part so we get more time to the role play in the 3-hour slot rather than have to expand. So I think that is still a learning process, but I think for my 9 to 5 job, that also helps to say, maybe I have to prioritize other stuff rather than this. But I really like that sort of constraint.
Oh, we're all so chatting.
I'll just get a very quick comment. I'm consistently impressed by M's time management, given the level of chaos and freedom that you give the players and encourage in your campaigns, that it is almost always bang on 3 hours. Like
I use timers.
Yeah.
I would not manage without my timers. Have a specific time for the first half, specific time for the second half. It flexes because you need to find good points for the break. And I think it's one of the really interesting things about the live format is like finding that moment where you're not interrupting a scene. You might have got to a cliffhanger and putting the break there and trying to get that into your first half so it's about the right length of time either side. It's interesting. It's good fun.
Well, actually, just talking about the break at halfway, I've started doing that with my home games, because I never used to do it. I don't know why, but we'd just be sat there for 4 hours playing, and I was like, I'm getting tired. Why am I getting tired? It's because we didn't have a break halfway through. So now games tend to be about 3 hours now, and we take a break halfway through, and it's quite a silly little thing, but it makes all the difference.
We do it. I do it in my home games as well now because it's just nice. Everyone wants a chance to go and make a tea without missing things, because I think if you're all in a room together, people do wander in and out more. But when you're on a screen, it feels harder to kind of leave because it does feel like you're missing something.
There's I've just started DMing a campaign of Brindlewood Bay as well with I know Liz at some point. I know, but with a different group. And it's got a great mechanic in it that's used in a couple of different ways. And basically, to go back to M's point as well about player reactions to deaths and dealing with it. Apart from one thing it's got is the ability to basically say, that didn't happen, because I'm going to put on a crown and narrate a lovely scene from my past instead. And it just treats the dud roll as an automatic success. But you've only got a limited amount of those throughout the entire campaign, but it does give you the option of doing that. Or the other one, which comes from the GM's side of it, is if a player is completely stacked to roll at a clutch point and isn't going to be able to use that, and you want to give them the opportunity to have a reroll because you think it's going to suck if this roll fails, you can cut to a commercial break. Because the entire conceit of it is that you are doing a TV show about old people solving crimes. So you have the commercial break, and it's got a list of, here are some products. Your player has to narrate a 30-second commercial for this product, and then
sounds amazing.
Success.
That sounds amazing. I love.
But also can be like, we're going to commercials now. Let's take a 10-minute break, which is great. I love it.
Technically, we do that with Roll Together.
We do, yeah. We've pre-recorded all of but we don't have to improvise the commercials.
That's true. Although Chris in their Smite one shot with all level 20, they had a cool thing in the arena where adverts I think came down, and there was lots of cool elements of that. So it is doable in a D&D setting.
Yeah. And maybe we should. What was the question that we were looking at? Any other learning experience moments? Oh, I have one actually. Now that I've asked you all, this might be something that a lot of people do already, but I'd not experienced it until playing Merc and Draw with Liz. Is that, I don't think we actually did it in yours, but I know that you routinely do as part of the session 0. You run a quick combat, and then Ali, you did it for Divergent Dream as part of the session 0, and I found it really, really helpful because apart from anything, it just means that everyone has a chance to look at their character sheet from a playing it perspective and be like, okay, what am I actually doing? What spells? What is going to work? But also see what everyone else would do. And then as a DM, you get the opportunity to be like, I need to increase all of the hit points of these monsters, or they should probably do a little less damage before you even start, especially in a recorded setup. But even for home games, I think it's quite a cool idea.
When you have opportunity with stuff like D&D Beyond, you can have a look at the character sheets and you can go, okay, cool, this person has all of these spells, but it's different when it's in combat because sometimes features and class elements come into play that you had no idea were even there. So that's why I like to run combat before we do things, so I know what to expect.
I mean, yes, but then you always have players that come with things that you will never expect,
which is also quite fun. But it's good to trial it through.
And we all know that the challenge rate is useless.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing helps you to say, okay, maybe I need to make it instead of challenging deadly. And
always deadly. Always deadly, because you can forget about abilities or you can have them die sooner. But if it's not challenging, if you go straight in for deadly, and sometimes like super deadly, like D&D Beyond is like you're going to kill these characters in two rounds. You can always dial it back, but you can't. It's really hard to dial it up once you've started.
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing is like forgetting about legendary actions. It just like you can really maneuver combat that way. Don't tell my players.
But
it's not recorded, Em. It's not recorded. Behind. Cool.
Yeah, I wish I could say my forgetting legendary actions in Silverage was intentional.
They don't put it on D&D Beyond though. Like, you don't have a little tracker, so I have to get like a bit of paper with like little squares on. Like, oh yes, I've done 2. Oh, I forgot to look at my paper. Oh, god damn it. Yeah.
Surprise lair actions as well is great. If you're suddenly like, oh god, this is too easy. Like, oh no, the floor is shaking or rocks fall and you all die. No, but
everything is suddenly lava. Oops. Nice. I'm gonna roll. We've probably got time for a couple more. Let's roll
the dice.
Roll the dice.
That's the same number as I just rolled. I should really roll a d6 at this point. Okay, I'm just going to pick one of the ones that's left. Okay. Your favorite NPC that you played this year?
Oh my god, I forgot the name. The squirrel.
The squirrel, yes. Was it Robert?
Robert the squirrel.
Robert the squirrel.
Robert the squirrel. Yes.
He was so cute. He was great. I loved him. But then at the same time, it was like me as a player was like, this is adorable. And then I think Evie was the same. We were both like, this is adorable. But in character being like, no, he must be evil and stop.
Squirrels. Yes.
That was great fun.
Granny for me. Love playing Granny. I love playing old people anyway, but Granny was special. And Demi's patron.
Yeah. So creepy.
God,
Remind me of their name. I've
forgotten. Oh God.
I think everybody would love that. Yeah,
the Angel of Death.
Angel of Death, that's it. Because I wanted it to be creepy, but I also wanted them to have a really like caring maternal thing going on, like have you packed your underwear, you're in a humid place, make sure you change your socks, because I thought it would be fun to mix that in with the creepy voice. But that was a lot of fun because I don't think Em was expecting that.
No, it was not.
And I like creeping out people, so yes, 2 rounds of fun.
Murta, who obviously started as an NPC and became a PC, is just great fun. That kind of like, oh, I know everything you're going to do because I'm cheating, and also now I'm not here anymore. That's great. All of the animals, so Tom's various horses and stags, I'm sure there were more, but those are the ones that pop into my head at the moment. And Nutmeg. Also the Nutmeg, and also Sir Stephen, whatever his name is. Flowing mane, beautiful horse, star
trail, star scream. Yeah.
Thank you.
Scream.
And then obviously the ship.
Transformer.
The BPP OS2.
Nutmeg eating salad is one of my favourite impressions that Emma has ever done.
It's up there with Az's voice for me.
Oh, no.
Which I know isn't an NPC. No, I say this with all the love in my heart. I thought it was brilliant. It was great.
I don't think I've heard this. If you're in Twitch chat and wish to hear this immediately, do let us know.
It's two different one-shots. And
Okay.
I was like, I'm only going to play this character once, I'll just do a random French accent. And then Mike was like,
Oh, no.
do it again this year. I was like, oh no.
I quite liked Hop. I know Hop is not an NPC, but Hop was so hyper.
Yeah.
It was exhausting, but in a good way.
Yes. There are lots of my characters that I would like to return, but it's just like there's so many of them at this point that it's like picking amongst your children.
Your favourite child.
Yeah.
Which of your children is most suited to this horrible adventure?
Which is obviously Prosperous. Prosperous is most suited to all adventures. So, yeah.
Oh, P. P's had quite the ride over the last couple of years.
It's Mike's fault. Mike broke P's heart. He's not here, so I can say.
Like, P has had 2 in story. Well, actually, no, because P's first ex was not in the story.
Edie, Kenner, and then Flore. Yeah.
But was Flore a partner?
No.
No.
Look, none of them have ever been as successful as Shivaris. Shivaris was the most romantically successful character I've ever had. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've. Thomas, if you're looking at actual romance, but then Polly Tartan did get married immediately to Tom's centaur, I guess, and apparently they also have a son who is not in the plot. No, is in the plot, but not in the game of Crash and Burn.
Middle of Tom's mind. It's like spiral network of things. Yeah.
That all happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
An exciting
place.
I did Liz. No. So we've done NPCs, but actually, in terms of like, I've addressed this to Liz now, but I think actually we should maybe talk about because we've talked about Hop and P as great player characters of M's. What do we think about Liz's characters that Liz has played this year? Because I really loved Huxley.
Oh, Huxley. I do have his beard. It's in a suitcase to my left.
Huxley was
a lot.
Yes.
And like the concept behind Huxley was that he was at a library, but he was only there to stock shelves, and it was a library of Blackstaff Tower, and all the cool wizards that were part of the college, they took all the great spells that like Fireball, like all the fancy ones that everyone always picks. So Huxley was left with not that great spells, but made the best of the situation. So he often
your ultimate commitment to not changing out a cantrip for prestidigitation is class.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Like, I think quite a lot of us are the same in that doing damage isn't always the fun thing. Like just doing weird stuff can be way more entertaining. So I like playing characters like that. But thanks for the
Especially as a wizard, when you can be like, I changed the world in one spell. Here we go. Now you're all upside down. Hooray!
I'm going to create a floating disc that can hold my bag. That's what I'm going to do with my spell. Yeah.
This is the thing, I've not played a lot of spellcaster characters like on stream comparatively, but just the idea of mage hand in general, like if you were that kind of person, why would you not constantly have a mage hand following you with like your bag or your drink or a snack, right?
Or just like cupping not your ass, but like with its
where are you going?
With its little hand
there are a few
you.
Things that you cup.
Cupping you. You can choose where that cup lies. But like,
reassuring hand on the shoulder.
That's where I was going. We can A reassuring
uses for
buttercup.
Mage Hand. Ali.
Emotional support Mage Hand.
We are back to Bake Off. I love this.
The Tiselli's great.
I love Sally.
Yeah. Now it's happily married in the Feywild, adopting children, different races, like Angelina and Brad Pitt. That's it.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
I'm so pleased he's got a happy ending because
Yes.
a lot of our characters are sort of, even if a campaign ends fine for them, there's always that, and no one ever knows what they did afterwards or what they're doing. But it's nice to know he's having a nice time.
Yes.
Yeah. I think one of my favourite bits is though when you were first introducing Swifty, I was just Liz going through the process of, so it's an egg. And it's called Swifty. Yeah. Okay, great.
And does it walk like this, or does it
How
kind of
does it
walk
move?
like this?
More like a spider thing.
Trying to think about
I love.
Now, what was the robot character that you played in Ali's?
Sarah.
Loved the voice so much. Oh my god, I loved it.
Yes.
I think I sent you a message actually
Yes.
about the Portal voice, and it was so good. Please feel
Thank
free
you.
to give us an example of what it sounded like now.
But when words immediately leave your head, they're
Yes,
like,
all the
I can
time.
do a voice, but I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying in that voice.
I love it. The cake is a lie. Loved it.
We actually did. This won't be a spoiler again because the first episode of Nexus has come out, and it's not really a spoiler to say it's very influenced by, as I said earlier, games like Half-Life. So the little test trial that I ran at the very start as part of session 0 was them up against a training bot that was basically just the voice of the little turrets that are like, ow, 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 ow. Are you still there?
Are you still there? Ow.
Please hit me for cake.
Okay, so Nat is going to record this, and I'm going to have it as my ringtone or text
Recorded.
message.
You can have it now.
That's a good point.
It
There you
exists.
go.
I can die happy.
It's
Skitter,
bugging me
who's
'cause I
obviously
forgot.
launched like a load of different campaign ideas and various like, where are the items? Who's got the items?
All the background stuff that's that's sort of not been the main focus of the campaign, but it's just been there.
Fun fact, the Wandering Bard in, I don't know if you actually encountered them at all in Mercandraw, was one of Skitter's relatives at the time, but you never interacted with them, so that's been just kind of swept under the rug there for anyone
And did
else to
say
take.
at the time, you said like, oh, every tabaxi. Now I'm now like, is it a Skitter sibling?
That one was.
I think we need to. I'm sure because we've got a document somewhere that's the actual story, the backstory of the temple and where all the siblings are, but I feel like it's not as up to date as it should be. So I probably need to look into that. Anyway, that's on my to-do list for another time. We've got time for, let's do one more speed question. Favorite addition to the Togetherverse that you or one of your players made this year? Speed round.
Klimt. Sam's character, Klimt.
Just the character in
the
total.
brother,
Yes, the brother of
Clint.
what was-
Clint.
Clint.
Okay.
Yes,
Clint.
because
Clint-
Klimt was
Klimt,
one of the
brother of Clint,
baby, one of the baby beavers in Have Yourself a Merry Little Krampus from last year. And Sam sent me a message like, "Hey, could I be one of those beavers?" So I was like, "Fuck yes!" So that was one of my favorite things that happened this year.
So good.
Yes.
The bugbear who is spider climbing across Faerun
Yes.
from Chaos in the Collection.
Yeah.
No one knows where Gook went, but off he went.
Actually, I think I mean not because you are here, but I think the lonely one is. We're gonna see more about the lonely one, whether with or without Sarah. But the lonely one is. I quite liked it.
Excited. Yes. My one shot that I did was sort of not really connected to the rest of the world properly, so kind of discounting that. So I'm just gonna say the statues because it's very entertaining. that the Waterdeep statues are just butt naked in our world.
That's Rebecca's fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Rebecca can't be here, so I'm gonna say that on her behalf.
All I said was there are statues. First thing she said, are they naked? I was like, oh, yes.
Of all people to ask that question as well, you would not assume that Rebecca would have. But
it implies that Waterdeep is a lot more liberal. Like, it's just really liberal about like what you wear.
Yeah.
Or what you don't wear.
Well, I can see that though, right? Because Neverwinter is like the stern, cold, miserable one, and Baldur's Gate is all like Victorian, and again, it's got that sort of
a bit mobby, gangy,
hierarchies and mobs and stuff. Whereas Waterdeep, chaos fun can happen in Waterdeep.
Yeah, there's not a gang war happening under the streets of Waterdeep.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. It's a little, it's. Okay, it's still stabby, but it's less gritty stabby, Fun stabby.
Fun stabby.
Fun thing about the statues of Waterdeep, I believe they are actually meant to be hollow, so people can live in them or have little shops in them. And if they're naked, I'm just going to leave that sentence where it is.
Yeah.
There's one of them that's sat down that has, I'm pretty sure has, in canon, houses built across the entire lap. But they're controlled by the Blackstaff staff, and they are a line of defence for Waterdeep, so they can move. But if they move, they will kill millions of people who live on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of people. How big is this statue supposed to be, Em? Millions of people.
Some of them are really big.
Yeah.
To house millions of people?
Yeah, millions. Yeah. Okay. No, I stand by it. I said it.
Okay, all right.
I nodded, so therefore it's true. Yeah,
sure.
Write it in the chat.
Millions will die.
Well, I'm going to leave everyone thinking about if you were to open a shop inside the hollow genitalia of a ginormous statue, what kind of shop would you open? And thank everyone for joining us for Talk Together, for hanging out with us for all of last year, and we look forward to hanging out with you again for the rest of 2023. Come join us and watch our streams. You'll find us here talking about D&D on Fridays 6 till 7 p.m. GMT, and on Mondays and Tuesdays we are streaming our D&D games. So currently on Mondays we have Nexus, which is my horror facility has gone wrong pop culture references, and on Tuesdays we will have, by the time this goes out, we will have launched Fracture. Do you want to say anything about Fracture?
Chris is DMing Fracture. It's our new worlds, Roll Together's world, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited to watch it. All of this will stream at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg, which is where you might be watching this now, or you might be watching it as the VOD on YouTube or on a podcast. And if you're not, then you could go and find it in those places. And thank you again to our D20 Club on Patreon. And you can be as cool as they are and support us from as little as one of your local currencies per month if you would like to. And thank you again to all our sponsors and supporters.
If you did support us on Patreon, you would have known about Fracture today, which is the 16th of December.
Oh. Yes. But if you're not a Patreon, then you know about it today, which is the...
Later than that date.
Sometime in January.
Somewhere in January.
We love time here at Roll Together. Time is our favourite thing.
Yeah. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Have a great year, everyone. See you next time. Stay classy.
No.
Please.